Hello, welcome to another review. Today we are looking at the Umidigi S5 Pro. So earlier last month we reviewed this device and it was one of the best devices that you could buy, and it was costing around $333. So you can now find it at $249, and honestly this is the best device that you can get even in under $500, considering the Pixel 4 or the new iPhone. This one is a lot better considering the price. So what are you going to get? The first thing that I really appreciate that I'm not going to start with is the processor, but we'll just start with PC grade liquid cooling system. So yes, this device costs $250, but it still comes with liquid cooling. What this does to this phone is that it maxes out the Helio G90T, which is the best processor that you can find right now on MediaTek. So it makes it to perform the best that it can, and the phone will not have overheating issues when you're playing games. So the other thing is that the screen is AMOLED and it's 6.39 Full HD plus display. That's around 2300 if I'm not wrong. So here it doesn't mention the screen. No, yeah, it's 2340 megapixel, which is a bit high considering 4K is usually around 3000 and something. So it's almost 4K. This is 2K AMOLED. So that's another thing to consider. You can never get a phone that is AMOLED and has that resolution at around this price. Usually when you are buying a mid-range phone, let's say a Samsung one, and they want to include AMOLED, they usually put it at 720p or maybe just 1080p standard, but this one is Full HD plus, so it's going to be better. When you're looking at other features, it comes with 6 GB of RAM, which you will expect from a flagship device. The thing that you wouldn't expect is the storage. The storage is 256 GB of RAM. So the other video I reviewed the laptop, what was the name of the laptop? I reviewed a laptop and the storage capacity was 256 GB, and it was costing around more than $1,000. So actually this is just giving you an example of how much Umidigi has managed to pack in this phone, considering even to get 128 GB storage of an iPhone gets you around above also $1,000. So considering you're going to get that storage plus that RAM in under 256 GB, this should really tell you that you're buying the best device. So the other feature that this phone has is that it's having a 4680 milliamp hour battery. So the other thing about flagship devices is that they don't have a big battery, and this is where Umidigi comes. Umidigi is known for its big battery. You can find maybe a phone with 5000 milliamp hour battery or 6000 currently, and they decided also to pack one of their higher capacity batteries in the S5 Pro. So when I make a comparison between this one or the Huawei flagship model, you see that one has around 3800 to 4000 milliamp hour battery. So this one has a bigger battery, and I'm expecting it to last a bit longer, if not the same, because the flagship phones usually have a bit better optimization. Okay, so for the screen, it's having a fast fingerprint in display sensor. It might be useful for you, but honestly I don't see the difference. But the benefit of this one is that you don't have to look for a specific hole. You just hold the front display of your screen and it should work. So those are the main features, which I'm sure if it was a normal manufacturer, let's say like Samsung, this phone right now will be around 900 US dollars. So this is really nice. So about the camera, don't expect to have the best camera, though they've included a 48 megapixel camera. Don't expect to have the best camera, because these cameras usually require optimization, which Snapdragon is famous for. And also, when you're buying a flagship device, the manufacturer usually takes time to test and alter some modifications. But for Umidigi, it's going to have a bit of a stock, how it was available when it was made. So it's not going to perform the best, but because it comes with a powerful processor, the camera is also going to be better than other devices that you can find in around 500 US dollars or below. So which other feature do we need to talk about? Next, we'll be going to the Helio G90T. So the thing about this Helio G90T is that it's the best processor of MediaTek. So that means is that it's almost similar to the best processor of Snapdragon. So when you look at the Snapdragon 855, this is the best processor of Snapdragon. So the difference is actually small. So this is the difference, and considering that only the chipset of the Snapdragon 855 will cost you around 400 US dollars, so it's twice as much cost than the MediaTek phone, the Umidigi S5 Pro. Only the Snapdragon is twice more expensive. So when you're looking at the difference, the Snapdragon one is only 8.2% faster, and it's having a resistant semiconductor 5 nanometer, a bit faster download, faster larger memory size. But honestly, you're getting a very good deal in this phone, because right now I'm comparing with the latest Snapdragon that is available, which isn't fair. But when you really want to compare what you're going to get, you have to choose a mid-range phone. That one is for the ultimate phone that has this Snapdragon. So the MediaTek So the Helio G90 is mostly compared with the Snapdragon 730. The Snapdragon 730 is the chipset that is available in the mid-range phones. Let's say a phone costing around 500 US dollars to around 700. So you're going to find it in having this chip. So even when you look at the score between these two, you see that the Helio G90T is a bit higher. I don't know why they haven't mentioned it, but this is just one of the phones that is having the Snapdragon 730G. So Helio G90T has better performance than its rival in graphic performance. So basically, as I said earlier, this has liquid cooling, so expect it to even perform higher than what this test is saying. So you can expect the phone to be better than all the devices. Let's say like Samsung A80 or A70. It's going to be better than almost all the devices that are having the Snapdragon 730G, and because of the liquid cooling and the powerful processor. So we can just look at the chipset alone, Helio G90. So another thing about this chip is that it's not going to have 5G, but it has Wi-Fi 5 support, which is the best Wi-Fi that you can find right now. So whether or not it's going to be included in the S5 Pro, I'm yet to know. So this is the world first chip to enable dual wake up support. So both Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa were able to open up at the same time. That's just something worth noting. And basically this will be able to play all AAA games, PUBG, Fortnite. Though Fortnite usually has a preference for some mobile phones, it will be able to play if it's accepted. So PUBG, Fortnite, and basically all games that are popular in the phone, it's going to play without minimal lag. So we can just look at the camera now. As I said earlier, the camera is not going to be that great, but it's having a 48 megapixel camera, and a front-facing pop-up camera. I haven't checked the size of the camera, but before we continue, the other thing is the fast charging. So the other thing about the really flagship devices is that they have a fast charging of around 40-watt charger, which is fast considering this one has 18. But a normal phone, even the iPhone 8 and the previous generation iPhones usually had a charging rate of 5 watts. So considering this one has 18 watts, it's so fast. And most phone nowadays, most recent phone that are a bit performing, usually have a charging rate of 10 watts. So it's still fast and it has a bigger battery. This one is the latest storage that you can store your phone with, is the UFS 2.1. So storing or transferring files from your phone, it will be easier and faster. So for the cameras, it's having a 48 megapixel main camera, 16 megapixel wide angle camera, 5 megapixel depth camera, 5 macro. It's going to have a decent camera, not the best. For recording, it's going to record at 30 fps, which isn't the best that you can get. This is another option to consider if you're looking to buy a mid-range phone and the main thing that you're buying for is the camera. You might opt to buy another mid-range phone, because most phones around $500 will get you 60 fps recording to 120 fps at 720p. So best display you can find in that price, and it supports 5G Wi-Fi signal. Never knew. Now this might be interesting, because I'm seeing that it supports 5G Wi-Fi signal. That's really interesting. So another thing to consider is that this phone will have 5G support, and not 5G support, but it's going to able to operate the signal. It's going to support 5G, but not the fastest one. Yeah, if you understand what I mean. And NFC if you're making payments. I believe that's more common nowadays. Yeah, that's all for today, but this is actually a good phone. I recommend everyone to get it. It's running on Android 10, not an old device that has awesome specs, so it's something worth considering. And also the front facing camera is a pop-up, so it's a full display phone. You basically get no notch, as you can see from the screen. And yeah, so if you order it from, let's say, today, for me it's going to take 41 to 71 days, but because of the current situation it might take longer for you. My purchase that I made earlier, it's now almost 2 months I haven't received, so it might take longer for you to get your delivery, but hopefully you'll get it soon. If you're in the US, I believe it will be faster for you. That's all for today. Really nice phone. Make sure you subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next